What do you do after a rough and rowdy career as a bull rider? Well, for Terry Lankford, the answer was art. Recently, Tammy Arnder caught up with the guy in Franklin, Tennessee, and, well, she discovered how this self-taught leather artist is riding high with his new creative calling.
We used to go to rodeos and stuff as kids, and we didn't have a lot of money. So we ended up having to make our own shaps and stuff, and then guys got to seeing them.
Terry Lankford is a cowboy.
And next thing you know, you're making more shaps than you're doing anything else. I had 2 girls helping me. We'd do 600 pair a year.
But he hasn't ridden a bull or bucking bronc in years. Lankford gave up competing and got into crafting the tools of the rodeo trade. He worked in a saddle shop in downtown Nashville for about a year, but since 1970, he's been on his own, making saddles and satchels and so much more.
Well, we build saddles and we build shaps and we do notebooks and belts. We just finished a pool cue bag for a guy. It had a gambler theme. Pool cues got pools. Well, I guess they are gamblers in a way, aren't they?
Lankford works in a small wooden shack behind his house in Franklin. What may appear to be a cluttered and claustrophobic cottage is his cabin of creativity.
It's more of a craft. I mean, it's something you learn, and it changes over the years. Your patterns will change. You can go back 3 or 4 years and look at your patterns you used and go, dude, what were you thinking? You have to put a little moisture in it or it won't stay. If it's dry, you're just hitting it and it kind of bounces back.
The technique is called tooling. It can be a painstaking process, but in some ways, therapeutic.
Everybody thinks you have to have a lot of patience. I have no patience. When you start, you want to go at it till it's done, you know, and then it's out of the way and you can do something else.
Terry makes some very unique designs on his leather, and when he doesn't have the tools, he actually creates his own stamping tools out of bolts or scrap metal.
The family of tools help him fashion everything from flowers to feathers. Lankford is mostly a freehand artist, but before the first ping of his mallet, the design is developing in his mind.
Well, you stew on it a little while. You know what it's going to look like before you start. Then you make it look like what you're thinking it's supposed to. You know, that's the way most of it works. If you just start, it just wanders. It never goes anywhere, and it ends up nowhere. So you kind of have to have what you're going to do down before you do it.
Lankford's customers are a who's who of the country music and rodeo worlds, from Marty Stewart and Hank Jr. to Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings.
This is fairly simple to do.
His electric guitar covers are some of the most coveted creations.
Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys.
In 1978, Willie and Waylon's duet album with Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys had this leather artwork by Lankford. For this master craftsman, it was just another project. He wasn't fazed by the famous album cover.
See, I grew up in the rodeo business. We was building bronc saddles and shaps, and you got world champions wearing this and world champions wearing that. So, it's the same thing. It's just a different world. So I was kind of used to it, I guess. This is just a nice sorrel color.
He's still called on by people in the rodeo world. Lankford's saddles have become legendary. He's known for intricate artwork that few can duplicate. He's also known for functionality.
If it doesn't function, it's useless.
Doesn't matter how pretty it is. Huh?
But pretty it is, and that's whether it's purses, pouches, or pool cue bags. Terry Lankford can use his cowhide canvas to deliver just about anything a leather lover would long for. He considers it his life's calling.
I always said, I didn't pick this, it picked me.